What's going on, everyone? Ron here in the TST garage, and today we are installing the all-new TST case savers on your Yamaha motorcycle. These case savers also fit the previous generation R3 2015 and 2018, as well as the all-new 2020 MT-03. Now this is a three-piece system. On the left side, you're gonna have one piece, and then on the right side, it's a two-piece system. There's an adjoining bracket that will make this complete. Now, these are made out of CNC machine billet aluminum. They are anodized black for a nice, durable, long-lasting finish, and they're gonna complement and look great on your bike. There's some nice etchings and engravings on them that really complement the designs of these R3s. We do include corrosion-resistant hardware with these case savers, so we'll replace that OEM hardware, give you some new sets to work with, and make the installation very, very simple and very easy. Now, these case savers were derived from years of race experience and have been proven and tested out on the track to provide maximum protection to critical components on your bike. Now, the case saver is not an end-all be-all crash protection piece. It works best when paired with multiple forms of crash protection, whether it's bar ends, front axle sliders, frame sliders, or even rear spools. It will help divert all of those crash forces, propagate them throughout the body of the bike, and ultimately save you a lot of money when it comes to fixing your bike after that crash. In addition to the crash protection parts I just listed, we carry many other parts for the Yamaha R3 and MT-03, such as the ever-popular integrated taillight, our fender eliminator. We also carry turn signals and even levers. Be sure to check those parts out on tstindustries.com. Now, enough about these case savers. Let's go ahead and join Bart as he walks you through the installation.
All right, you guys, I have put together a very easy and non-invasive procedure to follow to get this component onto the bike. We're gonna start with the clutch side cases. In front of me, you see all the components that come in the clutch side assembly. We will first identify some of the components and then pre-configure this so that we're successful when we get on the bike. Now, to help with the identification of the parts, we make this sheet available. You can download it from our website. It's PDF format. If you print it, making sure that it's 1:1 scale, you will have an actual physical representation of all the components. You could just lay them on top and you'll see which component's what. Then subsequently, you could follow the balloon numbers and see where they go. I will also show you on video here where they go, so no worries there. You have this intermediate bracket and you have the actual case cover that fit together like so. And then these shortest screws, get them fixed together. So step one will involve threading these screws in just like that. Now we want to make sure that we do this by hand and we find that nice thread engagement. And then I'm going to grab a 5mm Allen and get these guys bottomed out. Now, we don't want to tighten these. We want to preserve some play so that we can align all the other holes with the engine holes, and then subsequently tighten these guys down, torque them, and then torque these at the end. All right, see here we have one long spacer and one really long screw. This is the position that fits into, and the remaining components here fit like so. And this is the configuration that we bring to the bike, and we will attempt to get this on there in a chunk. I think the most easy way to do that will be just to remove these components and start with these fasteners and then move on to those. Let's get on the bike and start wrenching there. Now on the bike, looking at the fasteners here in the clutch case, we'll identify these three fasteners. These need to be pulled out, and those will be replaced with our new fasteners going through the engine case protector, through the spacers, and into that motor. For this purpose, I will be using an 8mm socket. This location here, in its stock form, has a cable guide for your narrowband O2 sensor. Good chances are this thing's gonna come off. It's your choice whether you want to leave it off or replace it during reassembly. I have removed these for our race bikes, but I know some people like to keep it intact. Choice is yours. All right, so this is a little cumbersome to handle all of these components in unison. So if you want to try to get all of this on at the same time, good luck. Maybe you can do it. I'm actually going to ditch the bottom fasteners and bottom spacers and just work with the top rearmost location. Like I said, for those of you guys that want to retain this in place, make sure that it's in place and the hole is concentric with the screw. As you pop that in, grab a 5mm Allen and get this thing seated down. Don't want to tighten it too much. You want to preserve some play. I'm gonna grab the spacer, go underneath the bracket with it, get my screw from the kit, line it up, and find the threads. Make sure it doesn't get cross-threaded in there. Make sure you leave play, and then go to the forwardmost mount, and it's the same procedure. Now I'm going to bottom these guys out all the way. I'm not going to use too much force on there. I'm going to use my torque wrench to properly torque this. I have preset my torque wrench to 86.5 inch-pounds of torque. This is equivalent to 7.2 foot-pounds or 10 Newton-meters. I am now going to torque these fasteners to that torque. This last one's going to require the flexing of this component. All right, and now these remaining screws need to be torqued as well, same spec. And that's it. This side's done. Now the motor's protected on this side in case you do go down, you have this extra meat and you're riding around in style. Let's hop on over to the stator side and perform this on the other side of the bike. For the stator side of the bike, as you can see, we also have this ID sheet available. Really shouldn't need it. Spacers are all the same, there are 4 of them. Screws are all the same, there are 4 of them. And you have your case guard. Let's put that stuff to the side for now and remove this panel so that we could have enough access to all the screws here. For that purpose, we will be using a 4mm Allen here, and also on the 2 remaining fasteners, one down here, and then the last one is up here. Now what I'll do is slide this panel down after unlocking it from the bottom here, and it just pulls out. So you have 2 slide locks here. To lock it in, you push it into receiving windows and pull it up. So obviously during removal, we push it down and it comes off. There's an additional tab and slot here that just clears as you pull it down. Okay, we are going to remove this, and this fastener using an 8mm socket. And then I will grab the case cover, one of the screws. I'm going to start with this bottom screw, put a spacer on it, and get it seated. Find the thread and engage it. The screw takes a 5mm Allen. Get it fairly close to bottom, but still leave some play. You want to have access for the spacers to go under the cover and in between the motor and the cover. Just gonna go up and down the line here and get all of these fasteners and spacers seated. And now that we have all of the threads started, I'm going to get these screws bottomed out but not tightened. I'm going to use the torque wrench to tighten them. I'm going to use the same torque as I mentioned before. It's 7.2 foot-pounds. And that's it on that. I am going to engage this tab and slot first. And there's an additional tab here that fits under here. That there is a little window. If you put your finger here, you'll feel it. So we want to get those components together, and we want them mated properly. And subsequently get the tabs over here into their windows. And if everything's lined up properly here at the bottom too, you'll be able to pull up and lock these two in place. If the top one dislodges itself, you can flex it and get it into that window that I mentioned before. And now we can replace the fasteners. Just going to go in the reverse order of this assembly. All right, and we are done. It's as simple as that. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes. Produces great results.
All right, there we go. Very quick, simple, painless install on your Yamaha motorcycle. We now have essential crash protection. You're ready to hit the street, to hit the track. If you like these parts or any other parts you saw were mentioned in this video, check out tstindustries.com, where we do carry those parts for your bike, as well as any other bikes you may have. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, ride safe.